stats for Wildcats coming in over the last 5 games, averaging 9 runs a game. Scored 15 runs in their Wednesday weekday matchup against Western Michigan. The problem in that game, though, gave up 26 runs, so they're going to need the pitching to be better. But this is a team that comes in winners of their 5 of their last 6. It's going to be up to the Boilermakers to get the offense going for themselves, but also to really stymie the offense for Northwestern. And more specifically, it's going to be up to the man on the mound today, Tanner Andrews, a senior, the 2.10 ERA. He is 5-3 on the year. He has pretty much been the mainstay and the Friday starter for the Boilermakers the last couple seasons. He's having a great year and wants to try to get off to a strong series here today.
Tanner Andrews making his 12th start on the hill for the Boilermaker defense, and he is going to face Northwestern's best hitter in the leadoff spot. It's Jack Dunn, who is sporting a 12-game hit streak. First pitch is underway, and it's good for a strike from Andrews.
For the Boilermakers, behind Tanner Andrews, it's Jackson McGowan at first, Tyler Powers at second, Harry Shipley at short, Evan Warden at third, Ben Nissel in left, Skylar Hunter in center, Alec Oland in right, and then behind the plate, Nick Della, Sandro.
Boilermakers moving to the freshman Tyler Powers to take over the second base role, and he is a really good fielder.
Yeah, he's done a great job defensively. Has struggled a little bit at the plate as a freshman. You take a look at Jack Dunn's numbers there, but still trying to get things figured out offensively is Tyler Powers, as it does look like a bit of a malfunction with D'Alessandro's mask. Appears to have gotten it taken care of.
Home plate umpire Tim Catton helps him out with that, and now Tanner Andrews is ready to throw the 0-2. It's chopped on and sent to second base. There is Tyler Powers, and he secures out number 1 for the Purdue defense.
Brett, always love when as a broadcaster you say something and then that player proves your point. Tyler Powers having a nice defensive season for the Boilermakers at second, doing a nice job of running that ground ball down, able to get the first out. As we take a second look at it, good contact from Dunn, just not enough on it to get it through the infield. So now Alex Arrow comes to the plate.
Arrow, the sophomore second baseman, batting .281 on the year, will take ball number 1 for his first pitch.
And it's important for Andrews that he gets ahead in the count early. The times that Tanner has struggled this season has been when he hasn't been able to do that, as Arrow's going to lift one into right, and Alec Oland will track it down for out number 2.
Good job by Tanner Andrews, and he has 2 outs here in this top of the first inning. And next will be Willie Bourbon. And Bourbon is the starting first baseman for the Wildcats defensively, and he is batting .275 on the year. As the lefty will take on the right-handed Andrews.
Bourbon, with one of the biggest bats in the lineup, has 5 home runs, 6 doubles, 3 triples. That's tied for best on the team. Also has 27 RBIs. Obviously can't generate any RBIs here, but it is a big bat for the Wildcats, and he's going to try to extend this first inning.
Bourbon takes a ball low there from Andrews to even the count at 1, as the Boilermakers are trying to retire the side. That pitch is low for ball number 2. Your count here with 2 away in the top of the first. And Andrews delivering, and that one's fouled off.
Nice job by Bourbon to foul that one back.
The sun keeps peeking out here, Connor, as you see it in your picture at home, as Bourbon will take ball 3 high.
Yeah, beautiful day in West Lafayette. Hovering right around 70 degrees. A little wind blowing from left to right field. And that's going to be a walk for Bourbon. So 2 outs. And now 1 man aboard as the catcher, Jack Clays, takes off what little of the gear that he'd had on for the turn of the inning and will now wander out to home plate to take a hack at it for the first time.
So Clays will step in the batter's box, and Willie Bourbon will take first base. It's his 27th time being walked, a team high for this Wildcat offense.
Clay's a senior, batting .284 on the year.
Good pitch on the off speed there by Tanner Andrews for strike number 1.
Yeah, Bourbon only 3 of 5 on stolen base attempts this season, so not a huge threat to run.
The 0-1 from Andrews, and that's chopped down the third base line. Warden is there, making the throw to first, and the Boilermakers get out number 3.
Yeah, good stretch there by Jackson McGowan, but he's able to pick up the out. So a good start for the Boilermakers. Tanner Andrews able to get the Wildcats to retire with 1 left on and no real damage done. So we'll head to the bottom of the inning. Purdue up to bat for the first time today.
Bottom of the first inning here at Alexander Field as Harry Shipley is going to take a strike looking from the starting pitcher for the Wildcats, Connor, Quinn Lavelle.
Yeah, Lavelle, just a freshman with a 4.36 ERA on the year, 3-5. This is his 11th start of the season. So the freshman southpaw getting an opportunity to kick off the series against the Boilermakers.
Lavelle with the 0-2 pitch, and he's going to plunk Harry Shipley, who will run to first now, as Shipley's hit by a pitch for the 13th time this year, a team high for the Boilermakers.
And that type of matchup really favors Harry Shipley, who likes to crowd the right side of the plate. And when you've got a lefty in Lavelle, throwing that ball, looked like it was just a breaking ball that maybe just got out of his hand wrong, and he sends Harry Shipley down to first.
The Boilermakers have their first base runner on. And next up will be Nick D'Alessandro. And D'Alessandro will fan at pitch number 1 from Lavelle.
Yeah, D'Alessandro has been one of the best bats for the Boilermakers all year. He has 12 doubles, tied for the highest total for Purdue this season. Has been really good in these situations, too, with a man on.
The 0-1 pitch from Lavelle is inside as D'Alessandro threatened a bunt.
It'll be interesting to see. We saw last week against Rutgers, and really even in the game before that against Chicago State, Coach Wazakowski and the Boilermakers changed their philosophy to go much more small ball. They were far more aggressive with their base running. Be interesting to see if that's something that they felt like was just a matchup against Rutgers, or if that's something they're going to continue to roll with. And that's something that's going to force Lavelle, just like you saw him there throwing the ball to first, he's going to have to be mindful of it. And the Boilermakers have a ton of speed in the 1 through 9 in their lineup.
He keeps Shipley at first. And now looks him off as he throws a pitch to D'Alessandro, who pops it deep right. It's headed foul. And it looked like Casey O'Laughlin came down with it.
O'Laughlin made a great grab, but at the price of running full speed headlong into the wall on the right side. He does look like he's shaken up out in the corner of right field. And he appears to be okay as he's coming back to get his hat. He took off at a dead sprint and was very much in pain, and it does look like they're going to at least take a look at him, make sure that he's okay.
The Wildcat training staff and their manager, Spencer Allen, coming out to check on O'Laughlin. A great catch there.
Yeah, an outstanding catch. And you can see, looks like a little shaken up. So we are going to have what appears to be a substitution defensively, but still a great grab out there and right. As Harry Shipley, though, was able to use that long fly ball to tag up and get to second.
And you see on your screen, he's having a nice little conversation with Jack Dunn on second.
I think trying to make sure that he's okay. You can see there the second baseman in Alex Arrow coming over and pointing to his head. I think that O'Laughlin just ran quite literally head first into the wall out there and right. Still a great grab and no fear making the play knowing that he was going to probably, feel something as he was going to run into the wall, and it was not going to be a painless experience, but still able to make the catch. As it looks like they might be trying to figure out if he's still able to go before they make the decision to make the substitution.
Tough to see from our angle into that first base dugout of the Wildcats, but you see our BTN crew with a great shot.
Yeah, you can see that his teammates standing around, it looks like, waiting to see what the call's going to be. But really a good start for the Boilermakers. Sandro doing his job in advancing Shipley up a base, which that's going to bring Skylar Hunter now to the plate once we get things sorted out. But always a tough situation, a scary situation anytime injuries are involved. You never want to see that.
Right.
It was a great play, but that wall is stiff. That's a hard wall out there, and running into it like O'Loughlin did will, if nothing else, shake you up a little bit. And it looks like the crowd is dispersing in the dugout for Northwestern. Still haven't seen O'Loughlin yet. So we're going to step away briefly while we try to figure things out with O'Loughlin. And actually, it looks like he's going to come running back out here. So he appears to be okay, as he will trot back out into right. You can see him coming across the right side, upper right corner of your screen.
So Casey O'Loughlin taking one for the team and then hopping right back out there in right field for the Northwestern Wildcats. One out away as we will resume play, and you get a look at Casey there in right.
So now Skylar Hunter, like we said, coming to the plate. Hunter, the center fielder for the Boilermakers, a sophomore, batting .323 on the year. It was the second highest batting average in the lineup for the Boilermakers. This is really the heart of the lineup for Purdue. And he's got a man standing on second.
As you see, 18 RBIs, Connor, trying to drive an early one in with Harry Shipley on second.
He's got .391 slugging percentage. So he's good in these situations for the Boilermakers.
2 balls to start this at bat.
Yeah, and this is a bit of an interesting spot here for Lavelle, because you don't typically have a delay like you did this early in the game. So you're able to get out, you get warmed up, and now all of a sudden you're waiting for a couple minutes for something that you can't control. Now you got to get back into the action, as he does get Hunter to swing away.
2-1 is now the count with 1 away, and Harry Shipley on second for the Boilermakers. And you see Lavelle is in the sun and in kind of a shadowed area behind the plate where Skylar Hunter stands. The 2-1, and Hunter is going to foul it off straight back, and that's even the count.
That shade can be tough for the batter because it's hard to see the ball clearly breaking out of the pitcher's hand. So Purdue and both teams went on offense for the time being with a bit of a disadvantage due to the shadows of covering the plate.
The 2-2 from Lavelle is inside and nearly hit Hunter, as Harry Shipley is going to move to third base.
Yeah, that one looked like it just got away from Lavelle. It creeped up inside, close to striking Skylar Hunter, and Harry Shipley taking advantage of it, getting away from Jack Clays. Able to move to third.
The count is now full as Lavelle will throw it, and it will be fouled off by Hunter.
Have to love, we talked about the small ball, an aggressive base running style from the Boilermakers. Lavelle, being a lefty, naturally he's got his blind spot to third base. Harry Shipley's moving about a fourth of the way, even maybe a third of the way down the baseline, as Skylar Hunter goes down swinging, reached for that one and paid the price.
Huge pitch there by Lavelle to secure out number 2 for the Wildcat defense. Trying to strand Harry Shipley there at third base, but now he faces the Boilermakers top hitter in Jackson McGowan.
Yeah, McGowan has been an absolute beast for the Boilermakers all season. 11 home runs on the year, 46 hits, 7 doubles, 45 RBIs. By far the leader in RBIs for the Boilermakers. His slugging percentage is .628, and just a junior. So
McGowan takes a ball outside there from Lavelle.
Will have the chance to come back for the Boilermakers if he so chooses. Really, McGowan was a guy, his freshman season played sparingly at third for the Boilermakers. Last year, settled in at first in the first season under Coach Wazakowski, but this year has really just exploded offensively for the Boilermakers.
I think it's safe to say he and Nick Della Sandro had a great offseason.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Both those guys, really everybody, 1 through 9, anybody that was here has benefited from Coach Wazakowski and his staff, their expertise, their experience. But 2 players, especially in Nick Della Sandro and Jackson McGowan, have really started to flourish in their junior seasons with the Boilermakers.
McGowan has the lead in the count after Lavelle has thrown 3 consecutive balls.
And you may see Lavelle just walk McGowan here, not even try to mess with it. And he will throw the strike. But to put runners on the corners with 2 outs, maybe not necessarily the worst case scenario, although Ben Nissel, standing in the circle, is the second leader in home runs on this team, as McGowan will, in fact, take a trot down to first after drawing the walk. So now runners on the corners as Ben Nissel, the freshman, come to the plate.
Jackson McGowan walked for the 35th time this year. That is a team high. And he will claim first base with Harry Shipley on the opposite side on third, as you see Mr. Shipley there on your screen. And before Nissel will step in the batter's box, Coach Waz of the Boilermakers giving him some encouragement.
Yeah, Alex Arrow at second for the Wildcats, I think called for time to have a chat with his young ace on the mound in Lavelle. I think just to try and settle him down or remind him of the situation. For Northwestern, with runners on the corners, you only need 1 to get out of the inning. But this is a situation for Purdue where you have to capitalize.
Nissel gets a piece of this and drives it to deep left. However, under it is Leo Kaplan.
Yeah, Kaplan doing a nice job of running out there to get it. That was a hard hit ball by Nissel, but just did not have enough to get over the left field wall. So the Boilermakers strand 2.
Top of the 3rd inning starting, and it's off with a bang as Jack Dunn, the leadoff hitter for the Wildcats, will ground out to third base, and Evan Warden in 1 away here in the top of the 3rd, Connor.
Yeah, both pitchers doing a really nice job early on in this game, dictating the tempo of the ball game. Purdue's had some hard hit balls that have resulted in outs, and for Northwestern, kind of the same thing. They've had a couple hard hit balls, but also some tough infield grounders that have just ended up generating outs. We'll credit Andrews and Lavelle, both doing an excellent job on the mound.
Andrews throwing the 1-0 as he faces Alex Arrow. Arrow 0 for 1 on the day.
Yeah, Arrow, one of only a handful of underclassmen in the lineup.
Arrow picks up the 3rd Northwestern hit of the day, and now he brings up Willie Bourbon. And Bourbon, who was walked in his first plate appearance, steps back in the batter's box.
Bourbon, a team high 5 home runs on the year. Like you said, was walked in his last at-bat. Now has a chance to try and string together successful at-bats for Northwestern.
He's going to foul off pitch number 1 and send it into that parking lot behind Alexander.
And it does feel like both these teams know that it's just going to take 1 swing to get the offense going. You talked about Northwestern averaging 9 runs a game over the last 5. Purdue, winners of 8 straight, and have done it with offense. And in most of those games, So both of these teams know they're capable of going off. It's just kind of a matter of who's able to get it going first or who on the mound blinks first.
The count moves to 1-1 against Bourbon, and Arrow has some speed at first base. He has 14 stolen bags on the year. As you see, Tanner Andrews is going to keep him close by throwing to Jackson McGowan.
Yeah, Arrow does have some speed like we talked about for Northwestern, as that one's going to be outside for the second ball to make it 2-1. But Arrow, 14 of 15 on stolen bases this year. So he's a guy that you have to be aware of when he's on the base paths. If you're not paying attention, he will take one from you.
And he's going to take, rather, Bourbon's going to take a strike, looking to even the count at 2. As you see Bourbon and Della Sandro in that shot.
They're able to get safely under the tag. We'll see maybe a hit and run situation for the Wildcats. That one's going to be fouled back as well.
Don't worry about it, shot.
Bourbon sends that one in the stands to stay alive at 2-2.
Excellent crowd. Here tonight, we've got a changing of balls for Andrews. Good crowd, though, at Alexander Stadium today. It is a Star Wars night here. So we've got Star Wars characters kind of out and about in the concourse. It's a fun atmosphere.
The 2-2 from Andrews, and that one's low, and Delisandro threatened to throw to first to keep Arrow where he's at. Northwestern Wildcat fans made the trip as well.
Yeah, nice little drive down from Evanston or the surrounding areas. You got a lot of players from Illinois and from Ohio on this team as well. So for sometimes, depending on where you're located in the state of Illinois or if you're in Ohio, this is maybe as close as you'll get to see Northwestern play all season. So a full count. And Andrews going to throw it over to first again, but Arrow able to get back underneath the tag.
Jackson McGowan staying on the base to keep Arrow right where he's at. The full count pitch is chopped on by Bourbon, sent to second base. And Tyler Powers makes the second out for the Boilermaker defense.
Yeah, the hit and run there, Arrow using that speed to get to second. That ball not hit hard enough to ensure that both players would be safe, but really a nice job by Bourbon, and just a two-hopper of a slow roller out to second.
And you saw Powers there kind of look to second to see if he could make the force out, but he astutely made the throw to first and Jackson McGowan. 2 outs away in the top of the third for Purdue, as that Tanner Andrews pitch was nearly perfect down the middle.
Yeah, nice placement from Andrews. Jack Clays at the plate for the Wildcats.
Clays is 0 for 1 on the day.
You see Arrow standing on second.
Clays is going to take a crack at this one, and he's going to drive it foul down the right field line.
Olin in pursuit.
Over in that area where we saw Casey O'Laughlin make a tremendous catch, a BTN standout play.
Yeah, absolutely. Just full speed, sacrificing his body to make the play and right. Ran headlong into the wall. Thankfully, he's okay. We've seen him. He came back out into the field. He hit in that last inning for Northwestern.
The 0-2 pitch by Andrews is fouled back by Jack Clays to stay alive. Trying not to strand.
Arrow out there at second. Yeah, Northwestern knows that you need to try to take advantage of as many opportunities as you can get. And Purdue knows it as well, especially in a series like this where you got two teams offensively that are being really productive right now.
That pitch is low and outside by Andrews as you get a good look at Arrow back on the bag at second. He is getting a little bit of a lead on the right-handed pitcher in Tanner Andrews.
Yeah, it looks like Powers maybe a little frustrated about trying to make the tag on Arrow at second, as that time Andrews stepped off like Powers was going to be there for the throw, but instead Powers retreating back to his usual spot.
You see Arrow juking in between second and third base at the bottom of your screen.
That ball just misses the zone to even the count at 2.
Boilermakers trying to strand Northwestern at second and pitch their third scoreless inning, as Andrews will deliver the 2-2. And that one is outside to make the count full. Charlie Maxwell on deck for the Wildcats if Jack Clays is able to get a base.
Yeah, Clay's doing a nice job of being disciplined at the plate and battling back, put himself in a full count situation.
The 3-2 by Tanner Andrews is swung on and sent deep to right field. And it is going to go over the right field wall, and a home run for Jack Clays. His team high 6th of the year. Gives Northwestern the 2-0 lead.
Patience paying off for Jack Clays, just launching that one out to right. Not really much of a doubt that was going to go over the wall, and a big at-bat for the Wildcats as they're able to get on the board first.
Clays showing you the senior leadership and getting the Wildcats on the board. Connor, you talked about both teams just a swing away from providing offense, and Clays was able to do that on a nice cut.
Yeah, it looked like Andrews might have just missed his placement on that pitch, and Clays making him take advantage of it, clearing the bases with the 2-run shot.
Charlie Maxwell trying to further extend this inning for the Northwestern Wildcats, and he's going to lay down a bunt down the third base line. Andrews is there, and he makes the throw to Jackson McGowan for out number 3, but the damage is done for the Purdue defense as Jack Clays for Northwestern was able to hit a 2-run home run facing 2 outs. Northwestern leads it 2-0 as we head to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Quinn Lavelle takes the hill for his 3rd inning for the Northwestern Wildcats, and they lead it 2-0 thanks from the bat of Jack Clays, who was able to hit a 2-run shot to right field in the top half of this inning.
Yeah, so now the Boilermakers in a 2-0 hole. No hits so far on the day, as Lavelle's done a nice job of making Purdue put the ball in play, and they just haven't been able to get anything past the defense.
And Lavelle will face Tyler Powers, the second base freshman for this Purdue team, who takes a ball high to take the lead in the count at 2-1.
Yeah, we talked about Powers early on in the game, has done a really nice job defensively for Purdue, but has struggled making the transition to facing Division I pitchers each day. And so with that 157 batting average, still trying to find some consistency at the plate.
The number 9 hitter today in the Boilermaker lineup will take a 5-pitch walk, and he is aboard. It's his 10th time being walked this year, and he brings up the top half of the lineup for the Boilermakers and Harry Shipley.
When you're struggling to hit the ball, sometimes you just got to find other ways to get on base, and Power's able to do that. So now Shipley, like you said, coming to the plate.
Shipley was hit by a pitch in his first at-bat.
Powers only 1 of 2 on stolen bases this year, mostly because he's not been able to get on base all that often, but he does have quite a bit of speed. So that's something that Lavelle will need to pay attention to. And fans of Purdue know that over the last week, Purdue has just decided that they're going to be as aggressive as anybody in the country when it comes to base running, and they're going to try to take as many bases as possible, put themselves in positions to score.
Saw the Boilermakers steal home against Rutgers.
Yeah,
last weekend.
You don't see that often. Ben Nissel able to take advantage of it against a lefty, kind of like Lavelle.
And a double steal nonetheless.
Yeah. Gutsy is certainly the appropriate word. Coach Wasikowski has shown that he's not afraid to try and take chances. Even in that game on Sunday, Nick Sandro hit a ball that really only should have been a single, but was able to stretch it to 2.
The 0-1 is a bunt placed down by Shipley, which goes foul at the last minute.
Almost a perfect bunt laid down by Harry Shipley. Just rolled foul.
And Tyler Powers got a great lead towards second base on that pitch. And Shipley will retrieve his bat and face an 0-2 count now.
Well, the one thing with Powers and really all the Boilermakers is they like to take sizable leads. You can see Powers disappearing from your screen. Sizable gap between him and the first base, and that results in a lot of plays like that where pitchers will just throw the ball back 5-6 times in an at-bat, which is fine with Purdue. You just get the pitcher on the mound out of their rhythm.
We've seen almost as many pitches to the plate as throws to first today. As Shipley will take a ball and stay alive in the count at 1-2.
Lavelle understands that if you're able to get Powers at first, or whoever the base runner is for the Boilermakers, that's a huge swing of momentum. So you have to keep trying to throw it to first, even if it just means it's mostly just a game of catch between Lavelle and Bourbon.
We'll see if Lavelle will wind for the 1-2. And that he will. But time is called before the throw, as you see home plate umpire Tim Catton hold up his hands as Shipley called time right before that pitch, it seemed.
Mark Wasikowski giving the signal to Harry Shipley on what to do with this at-bat. Have a pitch out.
Good eye there by Shipley not to go and chase that.
Well, I think that Northwestern thought that Powers might try to take it, maybe a hit or run or something, hit and run, and so they pitched out, try and get Powers, but he decided he did not go.
Shipley's going to send one down the third baseline. Northwestern able to get the out at second, but Harry Shipley beats the throw at first, and he's aboard with a fielder's choice.
And Charlie Maxwell doing a nice job getting that ball turned around. That's a tough ball to play at third, able to get the throw in time as Powers just half step slow.
As you see Shipley sending it down that third base line, and then he was able to beat that throw just in time as Willie Bourbon thought the double play was turned. So Shipley on first for the Boilermakers, and Nick Sandro makes his second plate appearance.
Was a lengthy at-bat as well. So that's now going to bring Sandro, like you said, to the plate. Sandro flew out to right in his last at-bat.
You see on your screen, we'll see the lead. Harry Shipley will try and take on Quinn Lavelle at the mound.
That's a pretty sizable lead. And Lavelle will just throw it over. And this is really what Purdue wants to do, especially against a lefty who's looking at you. And he can see what kind of lead you're taking. You just want to keep forcing him out of his rhythm, out of his game, make him think about one more thing while he's standing on the mound.
A cat and mouse game as another ball thrown to Della Sandro.
Yeah, Purdue loves the mind games, the mental warfare aspect of an at-bat. They want to take sizable leads. They want you to know they're taking sizable leads. They want pitchers to be thinking about it while they're standing on the mound.
The 2-0 pitch from Lavelle will result in ball number 3.
And the thing is, for Lavelle, he's doing a really nice job on the mound for Northwestern. You know, he's not giving up a hit. He's giving up a couple walks, but when he does, he's not allowing Purdue to take advantage of it.
The 3-0 is good as Lavelle stays alive at 3-1 by throwing that strike. And we'll see Shipley take a lead off. The 3-1 from Lavelle. And that ball gets past catcher Jack Clays. It doesn't matter, however, as that was ball number 4. Harry Shipley to second, and Nick D'Alessandro, who was walked for the 23rd time, second on this Boilermaker batting order.
That looked like, just from the interaction between Clays and Lavelle, that was a miss throw by Lavelle, in that it crossed up Clays, and that's why it got away from him, because it did just hit off the top of his glove. And so Clays, the senior, going out to chat with the young buck on the mound, just make sure that he's hitting the right spots and he's taking care of business and executing, because now with Skylar Hunter at the plate, pretty good contact hitter for the Boilermakers.
He gets contact on pitch number 1 and drives it foul down the third base line. A good opportunity for Skylar Hunter with D'Alessandro, who has a lot of speed on first base and maybe even more speed than Harry Shipley at second, as the Boilermakers try to find the equalizing run possibly in this bottom of the third inning as they trail it 2-0.
Yeah, both Shipley and D'Alessandro, guys that are aggressive base runners, as this ball will be popped up into right. Laughlin able to get underneath it to make the out. So 2 away now with runners on first and second.
We've seen Lavelle twice now get himself into a little bit of a pickle, but then he seems to easily get out number 2 and get right back into.
Yeah, he's done a great job of just being able to force pitches into spots where they can't make plays if you're Purdue, and that has to be frustrating because you've been able to get runners on a couple times, but you just haven't been able to really do much with it. And Norvell's not a high strikeout guy. He's only got 33 strikeouts and 53 2/3 innings pitched coming into this start, and does not have a strikeout yet against the Boilermakers, but even still, no hits for Purdue.
Jackson McGowan back to the plate for the Purdue Boilermakers, and he still has Harry Shipley on second, Nick D'Alessandro on first. He was walked in his first plate appearance.
So now, Lavelle. Going to leave that one outside to make it a 2-0 count. This is a spot where I don't think you want to walk McGowan again. You certainly don't love having him at the plate with runners in scoring positions, but you really don't want to send Nissel to the plate with bases loaded. Or at least that's what, if I were the coach, I would do. But once again, I'm not standing in the dugout. I am sitting here next to you. But this one swung on, hit hard by McGowan. And it will be caught by Dickey at the warning track. A hard hit ball by Jackson McGowan. Just needed about another 5 feet to turn this game on its head. So Northwestern escapes once again. Purdue posts another 0. We head to the top of the 4th. Northwestern on top, 2-0.
Tanner Andrews back on the hill for the Purdue Boilermakers, and he will face Connor Lind, the designated hitter. As you see Jackson McGowan, he got a good piece of that last ball, Connor. We thought it might have gone.
I think everybody thought that it was gone. Just ended up short in the warning track. A couple times we've seen Purdue hit long fly balls that have just done nothing but end the inning.
Not much wind here at Alexander Field, but you'd have to assume it's blowing inward. Lynn gets a piece of that Tanner Andrews pitch and drives it foul, but now he finds himself in an 0-2 hole at the plate. Top of the 4th as the sun sets here in West Lafayette.
Yeah, and this is a favorable spot for Andrews as he's trying to bounce back after giving up that 2-run shot back in the 3rd. Been able to get ahead in the count, and he'll get a strikeout as Lind will go down looking. Nice breaking ball.
Andrews picks up the first strikeout of this ball game in the top of the 4th, and one is away. As you see
Andrews there, and you can take a look at it. Just good placement right on the edge. Connor Lind not super pleased with the call, but can't really do anything about it. It's one away now in the top of the 4th.
And now Ben Dickey will come to the plate. And Dickey is 1 for 1 on the day.
So now a 2-1 count. This one swung on, hit hard, going to get through the gap for Dickey. And so Dickey with the base hit aboard safely with 1 man away.
Evan Warden just misses once again with the glove.
Yeah, Warden, couple plays where he's just laid out and just been a hair short on it. And so now a good opportunity as Leo Kaplan comes to the plate once again.
And Kaplan's 1 for 1. He's going to swing on the first pitch as Evan Warden made the grab. However, the throw to first was a tad bit late as Jackson McGowan tried to make the tag on Ben Dickey.
And that was a great catch.
Warden with the snag there.
It looked like maybe Dickey caught a piece of the cleat from McGowan as he was a little slow to get up and he was kind of messing with his arm. It does appear that he's okay, but a great grab by Warden, almost turning the double play. Still 2 away now for the Boilermakers as Laughlin will come to the plate.
And Andrews throwing to first base to keep Dickey there. Dickey, 11 stolen bases on the year, which is 3rd on this Northwestern team. A lot of speed, and Andrews is not going to mess with him as he makes another throw to Jackson McGowan at first. And now Dickey's going to run, and he is safe at second base. He picks up his 12th stolen base of the year.
It was a leaping grab and tag attempt by Harry Shipley. Now ball was just a little high from Della Sandro.
As you see, Connor, that is a great analysis of that play. Shipley just coming down with that ball.
But Dickey able to get underneath the tag. That was a great catch, even though they don't get the out. If that ball gets away from Shipley, Dickey's probably taking 2, as they're going to say that that ball was foul. But Dickey's probably going to go to third. or even score from second if that ball gets too deep into the outfield.
It's an 0-2 count now as that Casey O'Laughlin pitch was swung on and fouled down the first base line. We saw Andrews try and pick it up and tag him.
Yeah.
But it just went foul.
I tried to get to it before it got foul.
The 0-2 from Andrews is fouled back by O'Laughlin this time.
It's now 0-2 count. Runner standing on second, 2 away. O'Laughlin trying to keep the inning alive.
The 0-2, and O'Laughlin fouls another one back.
Yeah, doing a nice job of just staying up there and making contact to stay in this at-bat. That one looked like that was done specifically, throwing it high, trying to get him to chase. As you can see, Della Sandro stand up behind him.
The 0-2 from Andrews as he tries to blank the Wildcats in this top of the 4th inning. He's going to step off the rubber for a second and readjust.
O'Laughlin calling for time. Some mind games now. It's an 0-2 count.
Likely Dickey will run in this scenario with 2 outs as Della Sandro is able to block that pitch.
Yeah, everything you go on any contact in this situation. Good chance for Andrews, though, to get out of the inning with another runner stranded for Northwestern.
The 1-2. And Andrews gets O'Laughlin to fan for his second strikeout of this top of the 4th inning. The Boilermakers blank the Wildcats in the top of the 4th. We're headed to the bottom of the 4th to see if Purdue can chip into this 2-0 Northwestern lead. Bottom of the 4th inning about to begin as you see Quinn Lavelle on the hill for Northwestern. And he will face Ben Nissel, who had a deep flyout in his first plate appearance.
Yeah, it's kind of been the story of the game so far for the Boilermakers offensively. They've had a couple of long fly balls that have just been long outs, so no hits yet for the Boilermakers.
They have a couple bases due to Lavelle hitting Harry Shipley and walking a couple batters as Nissel will pop this one foul into the stands down the first base line. As you see, the Northwestern dugout was curious to see where that one would land.
Yeah, that was a that's one where everybody's got their head up and they're trying to figure out where the ball's at.
Lavelle back to the rubber. Now he will deliver the 1-1. That one just misses low to move the count to 2-1. As the Boilermakers searching for their first base hit of this ball game against Lavelle. Lavelle 3-5 on the year with a 4.36 ERA. And the left-hander has simply controlled this game against the Purdue offense.
Yeah, you know, he doesn't have a ton of strikeouts. I'm not even sure he has one, as he's going to have a walk here for Nissel.
Yeah, 0 strikeouts on the day, but he has avoided danger.
Yeah, he's just done a nice job of pitching to contact and letting his guys clean up behind him. Purdue's not been able to do much about it.
Nissel now alive on first base. And Nick Everts, the designated hitter, getting the nod today, will hop back into the batter's box. Everts 0 for 1 on the day.
Yeah, Everts trying to get things going. Going to try to lay down a bunt. I think that ball went off the bat, went into the dugout. That was inside. And I think they're actually going to say that it went off of Everts as he's not coming back from first, so.
Everts confidently ran to the bag, and It looked like it must have hit him, then the bat.
Yeah, must have. As we are going to have a mound meeting now. Once again, Lavelle has thrown a lot of strikes, but also has given up a lot of hard hit balls. And Purdue just hasn't been able to get any of them to drop into fair territory.
The Northwestern coaching staff taking that into consideration, as Lavelle has now put 2 base runners on with no outs here in the bottom of the 4th.
Well, and that's what makes it so tough when you're thinking about, when you look at Lavelle, excuse me, because he's got a no-hitter rolling right now. He's only given up a couple walks and a couple hit-by pitches, but it's not looked like he is doing things, offensively, or excuse me, doing things, getting strikes, really, getting easy ground outs and easy plays. He has given up some long fly balls, so how many innings do you leave him in?
He will face Alec Oland with Nissel on second base and Everts aboard on first after being hit by that pitch. And Oland 0 for 1 on the day as well. Comes to the plate. We talked about it earlier. The senior is batting .301 on the season, trying to show some senior leadership and continue the Boiler offense facing no outs against Quinn Lavelle. The first pitch of the at-bat is going to be hit, and it gets through. And coming around is Nissel, who will score. Oland, however, is thrown out at second. But 1 run crosses the plate for the Boilermakers.
Well, that probably is, I think, going to go down as the weakest hit RBI of the season. But, hey, this game is about getting the ball in play. And Alec Oland able to do so. Looked like he hit it right off the end of the bat, but just able to get it in, as you see.
The throw to keep Everts.
Everts at third, and then Oland getting tagged out, trying to stretch it into 2. Part of that aggressive base running for the Boilermakers, but a nice job by Oland, able to bring in 1 to cut this lead in half. And now Shipley at the plate with 1 out and a runner standing on third.
Only Oland's 9th RBI of the season, but he gets the Boilermakers on the board and puts up the first hit of the day for the Purdue offense. And now the Northwestern lead is cut into 2-1. And 1 away with Everts on third base. Evan Warden to the plate, who takes a strike on the inside corner to even the count at 1. Warden, you see, really close to that plate, kind of like his teammate Harry Shipley. And Warden is going to send this ball foul to trail the count at 1-2. See Nissel there at third. Or rather, Everts
yeah.
at third.
Everts at third. Nissel scored on that base hit. But Warden just trying to get something going. And right there, that's going to be the play that really you needed. Just a hard hit ball. That's going to allow Everts to score. It's going to be 2 outs now, but this game tied up. All of a sudden, the Boilermakers finding some success with the bats.
Warden picks up that RBI, his 15th of the year.
So now Tyler Powers going to come to the plate.
Powers simply just trying to extend this inning for the Boilermakers, who have found momentum and tied this thing up.
Yeah, if he can get on base, Purdue cycles back to the top of the order.
He's going to swing at the first pitch from Lavelle, and he's going to ground out to shortstop. But Purdue tacks on 2 runs in the bottom of the 4th to tie this thing up at 2.
Getting started here in the top of the 5th inning. Northwestern leading off. Tanner Andrews still on the mound for the Boilermakers. Getting some help from his offense in that bottom half of the 4th. Able to get 2 runs on to tie it up.
He faces the top of the order in Jack Dunn, who takes back-to-back strikes against Andrews. Dunn still looking for his first hit of the ball game. He's 0 for 2 against Andrews. And he's sporting that 12-game hit streak, trying to keep it alive. Andrews trying to shut the door on that. Andrews has pitched 4 innings now and given up 5 hits and 2 runs. A deep pop-up to center field as Skylar Hunter moves under it for out number 1.
Good swing from Dunn, just not enough on it. Andrews able to get the first out right away. And so now Arrow coming back to the plate.
Arrow was able to pick up a hit in his last at-bat. And he scored he scored on the Clay's home run.
Yeah, it was a big home run from Clay's. But Purdue did a nice job of responding immediately in the inning after that. And it's 2 quick outside pitches to make it a 2-0 count.
On the scoreboard, Purdue trailing the hitting battle 5-1. But the story is that Lavelle just continues to put Purdue base runners on by either hitting them or walking them.
And funnily enough, you know, that one hit, not exactly like a power swing into a gap for a double.
Right, a little blooper.
Just a little blooper, the sneak past the second baseman. But sometimes that's all you need.
They got the Boilermaker offense going, and that's how we stand tied at 2.
And now a 2-2 count.
2s are wild, Connor. 2s are wild. 2s
are wild. Purdue trying to make it 2 outs in this inning. And Warden's going to make the snag and do that as Arrow grounds out.
Warden back-to-back innings making some highlight plays, maybe BTN standout plays, as that one was worked well on his glove side. He secures out number 2 in this top of the 5th inning. And Willie Bourbon steps to the plate.
Warden has been busy on that third base side. Finally a play where he didn't have to dive into the dirt to try and make an out. Like you said, Bourbon, they'll come to the plate. 0-1 count, good pitch there from Andrews.
The count moves to 1-1. As Bourbon's 0 for 1 on the day, including a walk. He's going to chop at this one and send it down the first base line. Andrews there to cover the bag, and the Boilermakers take the Wildcats down in order. Harry Shipley in the top of the Boilermaker order will start this bottom of the 5th inning. As you see Shipley step in the batter's box, and he will face Quinn Lavelle, who is pitching his 5th inning. And Lavelle will start off hot by throwing strike number 1. Harry Shipley 0 for 1 on the day with a hit by pitch. He's going to swing at pitch number 2 and send it foul. He finds himself in an 0-2 hole at the plate.
Lavelle doing a nice job getting the advantage in the at-bat. Both these pitchers really doing a pretty good job today. You know, just 2-2, only 6 hits between the 2 teams. Just allowing their defense to make plays behind them and have given the batters all sorts of issues.
Shipley gets a piece of this ball, and it is going to be a single to center field as it gets down. And Harry Shipley has a leadoff hit here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Nice job by Harry Shipley, able to get a good piece of that one. Exactly what the Boilermakers needed to start this game off.
And now Nick Della, who's 0 for 1, comes to the plate. He was walked in his last at bat.
And more importantly, Harry Shipley has now reached consecutively in 19 games, safely aboard. The senior doing a great job of just finding a way to get on.
An impressive feat as Harry Shipley continues that streak. D'Alessandro takes ball number 1 to start his at-bat off, with Skylar Hunter in the on-deck position. This ball gets away from Clays, and Harry Shipley is going to trot to second and put himself in scoring position.
Yeah, and that one looked like maybe Clays, frustrated with himself, kind of looked at the glove to see if there was a hole in it. Just looked like he tried to squeeze it and just missed. And so another missed opportunity for Northwestern, and Shipley now able to get to second. Anything into the outfield safely is going to at least let Shipley think about trying to come home.
Danger looms for Quinn Lavelle and the Wildcat defense. No outs, and Harry Shipley stands aboard on second. They're facing the heart of the Boilermaker order. Del Sandro has the lead in the count at 2-0 at the plate, and he's going to swing at this pitch and drive it foul to move the count to 2-1.
Yeah, you know, Del Sandro wanting to take advantage of a runner in scoring position.
You see the senior and Harry Shipley aboard on second on your screen. And now he's going to get a little bit of a lead off. The 2-1. Swung on once more by Della Sandro, who's just a hair late on the last two pitches, Connor.
Yeah, Del Sandro just trying to get the timing down. He's making good contact, just hasn't been able to get the ball in play. Sometimes that can be the most frustrating thing, though, as a batter. You know that you're so close. If you just a little bit sooner on it, you're able to make the play.
The 2-2 from Lavelle is inside. A good eye there by Della Sandro to make the count full. Lavelle trying to get out number one here in the bottom of the fifth.
Della Sandro does have 22 walks on the year, so very patient at the plate.
He's going to swing at this pitch and drive it to right. Shipley is going to turn three, but Coach Waz will keep him there. And Della Sandro is aboard with a single. Runners on the corners now with no outs in the bottom of the fifth for the Purdue offense.
Yeah, good swing from Della Sandro, able to get the ball down in play, but a great throw from O'Laughlin in right, able to keep Shipley staying at third.
Coach Wazakowski for the Purdue Boilermakers kept Shipley there.
Yeah, and the right call,
very
too.
Smartly, yeah.
Yeah, it was a smart call. It was the right call, but still a good swing. So now you got runners on the corners and nobody out, with Hunter coming to the plate and McGowan standing on deck.
Nobody out in the bottom of the fifth, and like you mentioned, runners on the corners with Della Sandro on first and Harry Shipley on third. A drive by Skylar Hunter, deep to left. It's going to clear the wall, and Skylar Hunter breaks the tie with that three-run home run.
Skylar Hunter just getting on it. We've seen Purdue 4 or 5 times today hit balls deep to the warning track, just hadn't been able to get anything over the wall, and Hunter, solid piece of hitting, never really a doubt, clearing that left field side. And the Boilermakers on top, 5-2.
As you see, Hunter just drive this one to left. And left fielder Leo Kaplan watching it go over the wall.
And just like that.
And you see it on the right side of your screen, the Boilermakers going wild in the dugout.
That is the first home run of the season for Skylar Hunter.
No better time as he gives the Boilermakers a 5-2 lead and breaks the tie.
And now action in the bullpen for Northwestern.
You see that Purdue dugout all smiles after that Skylar Hunter home run. And McGowan doesn't make things any easier for Quinn Lavelle. And Lavelle, who seemed really untouchable up until these past 2 innings.
And McGowan's going to lift one deep into center field, but not deep enough. It will be caught by Dickey, just shy of the warning track. So now one away.
As you see McGowan laughed that one off as he trots back to the dugout. He thought he got a good piece of that one. We saw him drive one to the warning track.
Yeah, well, the
first at bat.
Last two at bats, McGowan has caught a lot of the ball, has made a good swing and hit it deep, just hasn't been able to get it quite deep enough. That could change with another look at it. Is Nissel, one pitch, one swing, and an out, as he will ground out to Maxwell at third. So good response from Lavelle after he gives up the 3-run shot to Skylar Hunter. Able to get the long fly ball in center and then the ground out to third.
Nick Everts comes to the plate next. He's 0 for 1, but he did score last inning. He takes ball 1 low by his feet. Like you said, Lavelle was able to get those big 2 consecutive outs.
And that's
make it 3.
Gonna hit 3. That one hit well by Everts, but right into the glove of Maxwell. And so that will do it for the Boilermakers, but not before Skylar Hunter gives Purdue the lead. Not only just his first home run of the season, his first home run of his collegiate career, a 3-run shot. The Boilermakers on top, 5-2, headed to the 6th.
Welcome back to scenic Alexander Field. Brett Douglas with you on the call alongside Connor Hoke. As you might see Connor waving in the top of your screen. The Purdue Boilermakers lead the Northwestern Wildcats 5-2 thanks to a 3-run home run by Mr. Skylar Hunter, his first of his collegiate career.
There's no wrong time to have your first collegiate home run, but certainly in a series that Purdue really needs in order to try and keep their NCAA hopes alive. You're able to get a big swing from the sophomore, putting it out over the left field wall. And just like that, Tanner Andrews comes back to the mound not only with more confidence, but with a 3-run lead.
Northwestern facing their first deficit of this ball game, and they're trying to respond as Jack Clays comes to the plate. In his last at bat, he was able to take Andrews over the wall to give Northwestern their 2 runs of this ball game. Clays facing a 2-2 count.
That one outside makes the count a full now. Like you said, Clays had the offense back in the second inning for Northwestern. They jumped out to the 2-0 lead thanks to his swing into right, and Clays will draw a walk.
Good at bat there by Jack Clays. He's walked for the 11th time of the season. And now Charlie Maxwell will step to the plate.
Yeah, Maxwell trying to help Northwestern get back into it, as this one's going to get fair. And so it's going to be just a base hit. But Clay's able to extend it into third.
And now Northwestern responding nicely here in the top of the 6th inning.
Yeah, doing a nice job. Back-to-back successful at-bats. And now with an opportunity to try and generate some offense of their own, as Connor Lynn, the designated hitter, standing at the plate.
Andrews now facing his 24th batter. And now he has some danger looming with runners on first and third.
Yeah, action in the bullpen for the Boilermakers. As for Northwestern, so both these starters have done a nice job the first handful of innings, but offense starting to awaken for both teams in the middle part of today's game, as we're going to have a meeting on the mound. Coach Holm coming out to chat with Andrews and the infield, as we'll wait to see. It doesn't look like, at least initially, Purdue's looking to make a pitching change. Maybe just have a chat, try to figure out what everybody's feeling. With a 1-0 count, Northwestern trailing Purdue 5-2. If you're just now joining us, you've missed a fun one. The offense for both teams really getting going here in the last couple innings. As for Northwestern, it was Jack Clay sending a 2-run shot over the right field wall, clearing the bullpen even, to kick off the scoring for both these teams. But then Purdue has answered with 5 runs in the 4th and the 5th, including in the 5th inning. Skylar Hunter's first career collegiate home run, a 3-run shot over the left field side.
Northwestern trying to answer to that. And they're off to a good start here in the top of the 6th. Runners on the corners. It's Maxwell on first and Clay's on third base. And at the plate is Connor Lind. And Lind takes an off-speed pitch there, looking for a strike.
A good response from Andrews out of the meeting at the mound. 1-2 count.
The 1-2 by Andrews. Warden coming in for it, and Warden's throw is going to miss. Well, that occurred. Jack Clays was able to cross the plate to cut the Boilermaker lead to 5-3.
Yeah, so Warden was able to field that ball and then just for a moment glanced at home plate. You're going to see it here on the replay. You can see right there he glances, and then he just tries to wing it over to McGowan. I think he just was off of his steps and just sailed it off to the right. So that's going to go down as an E5 against Evan Warden for the first error of today.
He came in sprinting for that chopper.
Yeah,
it's sent by Lind.
It's a tough play to make, especially when you're trying to decide, do you throw it to home or not? But still, a fortunate opportunity now for Northwestern. You got runners in second and third, and 1 run on to make it a 5-3 game.
And still no outs here for Tanner Andrews in the Boilermaker defense. And that's going to continue as Ben Dickey takes Andrews up the middle.
That's going to bring in another run as Charlie Maxwell will come across the plate. So now a 5-4 game, 2 runs quick scored here in the top of the 6th for Northwestern.
And we'll see if Tanner Andrews will stay on the hill. Looks like he will, and he's going to face Leo Kaplan. You see Dickey aboard first base. He picked up his 28th hit, including his 7th RBI on that.
Yeah, good swing from Dickey. Dickey's had a good day today, too, as now Leo Kaplan looking to continue the hot inning for Northwestern.
Runners on the corners, and Kaplan fanned at pitch number 1 to fall behind 0-1.
That one away from Andrews.
Great block by Della Sandro, though.
Yeah, nice job by Della Sandro to keep that ball still enough in play to keep everybody standing where they're at in the corners.
Even kept Dickey at first base.
I'd have to imagine that Coach Holm debating maybe after this at-bat, do you make the pitching change? Purdue still with a 1-run lead as Andrews steps off, decides not to throw it, so he'll reset.
The 1-1 from Andrews. It's a blooper to right. What a grab by second baseman Tyler Powers.
Hey, talk about BTN standout plays. That's a BTN standout play by the freshman. Tracking that ball down, extending, diving forward, able to make the grab. And that's the first out here in the top of the 6th. But let's take a look at this again. Tremendous effort from Powers, able to lay out and make the play.
BTN standout indeed as Powers secures the first out in the top of the 6th and keeps the runners on the corners, more importantly. And next to the plate is Casey O'Laughlin.
And we're going to have a pitch out. Sandro seeing if he couldn't get somebody trying to steal.
Dickey on first has stolen 11 bags. 12.
12, because he does have a steal
steal today
already, so that Purdue hoping to try and catch him in the act. O'Laughlin with a hard hit ball left side. That is out of here. O'Laughlin clearing the bases, a 3-run shot for Northwestern.
Casey O'Laughlin with his first home run of the year responds to the Boilermakers' 5-2 lead with a 3-run shot of his own.
Brett, we talked about it. Both these teams have the offenses working. It didn't look like it through the first couple innings, but all of a sudden the bats are alive on both sides. 3-run shot by the Boilermakers in the 5th, answered by a 3-run shot by Northwestern here in the top of the 6th. A 5-run inning for Northwestern as Tanner Andrews is going to stay in the game. And Jack Dunn coming to the plate now.
A bunt placed by Dunn perfectly down the third base line. Warden trying to make the throw, but Dunn is able to beat that out using his speed.
It does look like Tanner Andrews is going to call it a day as Coach Holm is coming out. And it looks like Bo Hofstra is going to be the pitcher coming in relief for the Boilermakers. So we're going to step away. Tanner Andrews' day is done. Northwestern, a 5-run inning here in the top of the 6th with only 1 away. A chance to add on a few more. Man on the mound for the Purdue Boilermakers. That is Bo Hofstra. Doing a nice job for Purdue in relief this season. But Tanner Andrews' day is done after he gives up 5 runs here in the 6th inning, including a 3-run shot to Casey O'Laughlin. And just like that, Northwestern on top, 7-0.
7-5 is the score. And a great response by the Wildcats of Northwestern. And up at the plate is Alex Arrow. Arrow trying to keep the inning going as Northwestern has a base runner and Dunn on first. Arrow takes 2 consecutive balls from Hofstra to start his at-bat off.
Hofstra, 3.50 ERA on the season, making his 19th appearance. Just a freshman. And right there, able to get a piece of it and force the double play to get out of the inning. As there was a chopper hit by Arrow. And Hofstra using that 6'5" frame, able to get it over to Shipley on the deflection. And so that will do it. But not before Northwestern picks up 5 more runs in the top of the 6th. We head to the bottom of the inning. The Wildcats on top, 7-5.
Quinn Lavelle will return to the hill for the Northwestern Wildcats in the bottom of the 6th. And Lavelle will pitch to Alec Oland, who will swing at the first pitch he sees, and he will fly out to center field. And Ben Dickey for out number 1.
And Brett, what a difference an inning makes for Novell. Headed into the 6th, having just given up a 3-run home run and the lead, but his offense coming through in the top of the 6th inning. 5 runs. Casey O'Laughlin with the 3-run home run to really top that all off. And so now Lavelle heads back to the mound with a 2-run lead. This is a long series, 3-game series, really key for both teams. Purdue trying to stay in the top third of the Big Ten standings, also important for them as far as NCAA tournament hopes go, and for Northwestern, a team who struggled this season in Big Ten play. But if they're able to pick up a series, you know, that can help them in their quest to try to make the Big Ten tournament.
They were able to sweep the Nittany Lions of Penn State last weekend, and they've won 5 of the last 6. So showing some
sense of urgency and some life.
Correct. And Purdue, has been winners of 8 straight, trying to keep that going.
Yeah, both of these teams coming in hot. And right now the offense really going for both. As Warden is going to draw the walk to lead off the inning, or not to lead off the inning, but to be the first one to reach the base, as Olin did swing and fly out in his first pitch.
And when Warden gets on, he's a bit of a threat. He's stolen 6 bags on the year.
Yeah, 6 of 10 on the season.
And has the advantage against the lefty Lavelle, who will get a meeting from his catcher in Jack Clays. It looks like shortstop Jack Dunn coming in as well to discuss Warden on first base.
There is still action in the bullpen for Northwestern. We just saw Purdue make a pitching change. Bill Hofstra coming in and getting the double play to end the inning, as we're now going to have a meeting for Northwestern, and it does look like the Wildcats are going to go ahead and make a pitching change as well. So with 1 out and a man standing on first, and Evan Warden,
Josh Levy to the hill for the Northwestern Wildcats as they make a change from Quinn Lavelle, who was able to pitch 5 1/3 innings. And Evan Warden being aboard with 1 out.
Levy making his 18th appearance on the season. He's got a 4.50 ERA. Coming in a favorable spot, up 2, but he does have a runner standing on first base, and Evan Warden.
Off to a good start as that off-speed pitch connected for strike number 1.
Yeah, and as far as the order goes, Tyler Powers, a good spot to start if you are Levy. Powers has struggled this season, though just made a phenomenal play at second with the diving grab.
He does it very well.
Yes,
on the
he's
defensive side of
great
things.
with the glove, just trying to get things going offensively.
Some freshman nerves you'd like to hope.
I think
and you haven't seen the collegiate pitching as well.
Yeah, you're seeing, you're used to seeing, maybe each year, depending on where you played in a season, you see 4 guys that have collegiate level skill, and you may see 4 guys in a week, and especially in the Big Ten, that are top-notch premier pitchers. All these guys were the guy on their team. As Powers is going to lay down a bunt, try to beat out the throw, won't do it, but it will move Warden to second.
Very nice bunt there by Powers, and an even better play by Jack Clays, who makes the throw to first and gets the out there. Warden to second, like you mentioned. The Boilermakers have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs, with Harry Shipley coming to the plate.
Yeah, and Shipley was able to reach safely his last at-bat with a single. Now 1 for 2 on the day. So Purdue trying to cut back into this 2-run deficit. The tying run, holding the bat in his hand, Harry Shipley.
An inside pitch there by Levy will result in ball number 1. As you see Harry Shipley ready to take pitch number 2. He gets a piece of that one and sends it foul past his teammate Nick Della. Sandro, who's on deck. Probably a good 5 feet in front of that undecked circle.
Yeah, that was enough to, I'm sure, keep Skylar Hunter awake, or excuse me, Della Sandro awake and aware. Maybe even Skylar Hunter, who's leaning against the edge of the dugout. keep them aware of what's going on in the at-bat. As there's another nice off-speed pitch from Levy. Makes it a 1-2 count.
Levy coming in for the left-handed pitcher in Quinn Lavelle. Levy, a right-hander himself. What kind of change does that bring to things?
Well, right away you're seeing the ball delivered from the other side of the plate now. So if you're a guy like Harry Shipley, as he's going to hit that one foul, the breaking ball is now kind of breaking inside to your bat as opposed to away from it. And the other thing that you see in this is, depending on each pitcher, is now you've got a different arm angle, a different type of delivery. And you have to try to figure out, okay, is Levy a guy who wants to throw more of a sidearm, or, kind of a normal delivery, kind of about shoulder height. And you can see there, that one swung on and fouled back.
Hits off the top of the Boilermaker dugout into the stands as Harry Shipley stays alive at 1-2. Facing 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. He's got his teammate Evan Warden aboard on second. See Warden at the bottom of your screen. Get a little bit of a lead off, and shortstop Jack Dunn is keeping him there.
Yeah, this is a big at-bat for the Boilermakers as they're going to throw the ball over to try to get Warden at second, but he's able to get on base.
That was a little closer than the picture showed, as you see Warden show a bit of a smile there.
Might have been closer than Warden would have liked. So with the 1-2 count, Shipley fouling another one back, just staying with it. And, if you're Harry Shipley, especially up against a new pitcher, this can be the best thing for you. Just keep swinging, trying to figure out, what Levy likes to throw and his delivery, and then you take advantage of it from there. But you have to just keep the at-bat going.
Shipley facing the 1-2 once more. This time he's going to get a piece of it, but he will ground out to second base, and the Northwestern Wildcats strand Evan Warden at second and blank the Boilermakers in the bottom of the 6th inning. Bo Hofstra back to the hill for the Purdue Boilermakers after throwing a scoreless 7th inning, trying to take the Wildcats down as we start the 8th. He is facing Connor Lind, the designated hitter for Northwestern.
Hofstra doing a nice job in relief for the Boilermakers, as Purdue still does trail by 2 Northwestern's offense. We talked about it at the start of this game, averaging 9 runs over the last 5 games of the season, and currently with 7, doing a nice job of making Purdue pay when they've not put balls in the right spot.
Lynn fouls off that pitch to even the count out at 2. Big game for both teams, as we mentioned prior. Purdue riding an 8-game win streak and in the hunt for the Big Ten tourney. And Northwestern has won 5 of the last 6, as Lind will fly out to shortstop and Harry Shipley. And 1 out is away in this top of the 8th inning.
Yeah, you talked about both these teams really coming in hot, but for the Boilermakers, currently sitting in 3rd. And then for Northwestern, currently in 13th place in the Big Ten. So trying to cobble together a strong finish to the season so that they can reach the Big Ten tournament this year. While the Boilermakers are trying to jockey for, potentially a 2 seed in the Big Ten tournament, really need, both teams really need this series in terms of, postseason hopes, which is always fun because you're going to get 2 teams that come in really trying to pick up victories. And so far, today's game has been a lot of fun. We've had ups and downs, both teams with a lot of swings, being able to take the lead. We'll see who comes out on top.
3 combined home runs today, as the ball has been hit hard all evening, and another one's hit deep to left field, but under it is Ben Nissel for out number 2.
Yeah, nice job by Nissel to track that down and left. Haven't called his name a ton today, but a good job of tracking that down. Like you said, a hard hit ball, and both teams have been able to put balls into the outfield and deep into the outfield all day long. Like you said, though, 3 home runs in today's game.
A swing and a miss from Leo Kaplan puts him into an 0-1 hole to start his at-bat off. Kaplan 1 for 3 on the day, and he takes strike 2 looking. Bo Hofstra trying to retire the side in back-to-back innings now. The 0-2. This one's popped up to right. Under it is Alec Oland. And into the sun, he still makes the grab. Purdue trying to spark a comeback as they trail at 7-5. The dugout in good spirits as they were able to take the lead after trailing 2-0. And now Ben Nissel will lead things off.
But they need Nissel and the entire offense to find something going here in the bottom of the 8th. Starting to run out of opportunities. They do trail 7-5.
Josh Levy is able to throw a strike past Nissel for the first pitch. And now he delivers the 0-1, which is good once more.
And for Purdue, this series is a big one. You know, they've got only one more Big Ten series. They're going to take on Michigan, who's currently first in the standings at 12-2.
Nissel chops one to the third baseman, Charlie Maxwell, who's able to make the throw to first for out number 1.
Excuse me, I stand corrected. They have one more home series is what I meant against Michigan. They are on the road in Columbus against Ohio State the next weekend after this one. But still, Purdue trying to keep their NCAA hopes alive. Really need to be able to mount a comeback here against Northwestern in Game 1, but Levy and the Wildcats looking for a couple Big Ten victories of their own, as now Evan Kennedy's going to get his first chance at the plate tonight. Typically the designated hitter in the lineup most days, but has struggled a little bit this season.
Coach Wazakowski mixing up the lineup, trying
to find something.
Some offense rolling here in this bottom of the 8th inning. Kennedy will take a ball.
Kennedy batting .207 on the year.
The 1-0, and that one's tall and outside for ball number 2.
And for Kennedy, when you look at his numbers, obviously batting .207, that's not great, but he's only got 18 strikeouts on the year, so he's not a high strikeout guy in his 82 at-bats. Just hasn't been able to get the ball in play consistently this year.
A good at-bat here as he is up in the count, 3-0 at the plate. Facing Josh Levy, the junior right-handed pitcher. And Levy will throw a 4-pitch walk.
And Kennedy doing his job. Important to mention in both bullpens, quite a bit of action, as we are entering the final stretch here for both teams in Game 1. And Levy does look like he might be wearing down a little bit. Now Alec Oland coming to the plate with one out, and a man standing on first.
Oland 1 for 3 on the day, including an RBI. As he steps into the batter's box. Levy the delivery, and that one's low, and it nearly got away from Jack Clays, but Clays was able to recover nicely and keep Kennedy at first.
Yeah, Clays has had an adventurous day behind the plate. Has had a couple balls get away from him. Like you said, they're an excellent job to keep that one from adding to the tally.
The 1-0.
Let's go.
That one's tall. And now Clays is going to run out to the rubber to talk to Josh Levy. And shortstop Jack Dunn goes to the hill once more.
And
Purdue is going to place a pinch hitter.
Yeah, Charlie Nasudi's going to come in for Evan Kennedy. Nasudi with considerable more speed than Kennedy. And so with one away, Purdue hoping that some more speed out there, give him a chance to bring at least one in.
Coach Wazakowski giving his pencil a little bit of a workout as he inserts Evan Kennedy in the lineup, who was walked, and now he takes Kennedy out and puts Nasudi in the pinch runner role with Alec Oland at the plate, and Oland takes the lead in the count at 3-0.
Yeah, good job there by Oland to hold that off on the check swing. Another outside pitch from Levy.
7 consecutive balls thrown by Levy.
And sometimes you can see that with relievers, as that's going to be the second straight walk for Levy, as Oland will take his base. Sometimes guys, they just look good, and then all of a sudden, bang, you hit a wall, and now all of a sudden you can't find the plate. As now we're going to have a meeting on the mound, and it does look like that's going to result in a pitching change for Northwestern. So we're going to step away. We've got one out here in the bottom of the 8th. The Boilermakers with 2 on, they trail 7-5, looking to try and take the lead with some late game heroics.
Richard Forden to the hill for the Northwestern Wildcats, as he will be the 3rd pitcher to throw it for the Northwestern defense.
Yeah, Forden making his 17th appearance on the season. He's got a 5.53 ERA on the year. And he's got Evan Warden standing in the box trying to tie this up or take the lead for the Boilermakers.
Forden replaces Josh Levy, who threw 2 innings, but he threw 8 consecutive balls, including 2 4-pitch walks, which leads to Charlie Nasudi on second base and Alec Oland aboard on first for the Purdue offense.
Now 9 straight balls thrown by the Northwestern pitching staff. Purdue has Tyler Powers standing in the on-deck circle, and then Shipley. This is a big hit from Evan Warden into the outfield. And Nasudi thought about going home and then turned around and scrambled back to third. So the base is loaded for Tyler Powers. As it looks like Powers, though, going to get pinch hit for. And Bryce Bonner is currently getting some warm-up swings in. And it does look like the Texas native will get the call here with the bases loaded and 1 away. A huge spot for the Boilermakers, not only in this game, but for their season, in hopes of reaching the NCAA tournament. And the Boilermakers have only made the tournament twice in program history. 2 times, that is it. So Bonner with a chance to deliver in the clutch. With the bases loaded and 1 away, Purdue trailing by 2. Evan Warden representing the game-leading run.
Warden is aboard on first. Oland to second and Nasudi on third, as Bonner will take an off-speed pitch for strike 1 from Forden.
And for Bryce Bonner, he's batting only 194 on the season. It's only his 32nd at-bat, though, of the year. Bonner, a guy who split some time with Nick Della Sandro behind the plate last year, but with the arrival of Ben Nissel to take over in left, which is where D'Alessandro typically plays, as there's a strike called to make it an 0-2 count. Bonner hasn't seen as much time this season, but coming in a big spot here with a chance to provide some fireworks for the Boilermakers.
The 5'9" sophomore catcher in this pinch hitting role is in an 0-2 hole at the plate.
Yeah, and credit Forden. He's done a nice job of getting him into the hole, and Bonner just catches a piece of that pitch to stay alive.
He was late on the swing and, like you said, just got a piece. As he stays alive, 0-2 is still the count. One away here for the Northwestern defense in the bottom of the 8th. Time called by Bonner, who will step out. Take some deep breaths. It's a big moment for both schools right now.
Yeah, both these teams, we've talked about it at length, really want this game, want this series.
Bonner sends one and it gets through. Nasuti scores. Olin coming home and he will score as well. This ball game is tied up at 7.
Bryce Bonner, not the prettiest swing of the season, but it is effective. Gets it past Maxwell at third. And just like that, the Boilermakers have tied it up with 1 out and a chance to take the lead in the bottom of the 8th inning as Harry Shipley comes to the plate with runners on first and second. As you can see, the second look at it, Bonner just able to slide it past the infield for the base hit. And so Bryce Bonner all smiles as he heads back to the dugout, greeted by his teammates, doing his job. Big time swing from the sophomore.
He did his job indeed. He only had 1 RBI previously, and he picks up 2 with that swing of the bat.
Owen Jansen replacing him at first as the pinch runner.
So Jansen now aboard first. And Warden is on second with Harry Shipley, the Purdue leadoff hitter, coming to the plate. Still only 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. Forden, that ball came all the way back in, but it's going to be a little south for ball number 1.
Yeah, Shipley, a bit of a nightmare for Forden, just the way that he sets up. We talked about it. It's kind of the same thing with Levy. When these guys, these lefties are trying to throw these breaking balls, and Shipley is standing pretty much as close to the plate as you legally can. If you don't get that ball all the way in like that pitch was, it's going to be a hit by pitch to load the bases again if you're not careful, as you see 2 straight balls, though, to give Shipley the 2-0 count.
Speaking of hit by a pitch, that one
was
just
close.
Missed Shipley.
Yeah, it looked like it breezed by the jersey. So a 2-0 count, runners on first and second for Shipley. Action in the bullpen for the Wildcats. Purdue with 2 runs here in the bottom of the 8th to tie this game up at 7.
The 2-0. And that one's outside for ball number 3 from Forden.
Nick Sandro is due up.
Forden checking on Warden at second, and then he will deliver a pitch that's too far north, and that will load the bases as Harry Shipley moves to first base. Jansen will take second, and Evan Warden, you see on your screen, at third with a big old smile.
Feeling pretty happy about it right now. As the bases are loaded, Nick D'Alessandro coming to the plate. D'Alessandro already with a nice base hit and a clutch spot for the Boilermakers in this game, as there's going to be a meeting at the mound, and it does look like we're going to have a pitching change for Northwestern.
On the hill now for the Northwestern Wildcats will be Tommy Bourdignon. And Bourdignon
coming in a tough spot. Bases loaded. Nick D'Alessandro up to the plate. Bourdignon is the closer for the Wildcats, though, has 5 saves on the year. He's got a 2.57 ERA, and they really need him to bail them out right now, as there's only 1 out. Bases loaded, Nick D'Alessandro.
tough situation might be an understatement. Bases loaded, only one out. And Bourdignon faces one of the top Purdue hitters in Nick Della, who takes ball one.
Yeah, Bryce Bonner, if you're just now joining us, had an infield single to bring home two to tie this game up in the 8th. As Sandro takes that first strike to even the count at 1.
It's been the day of unlikely heroes, as we've seen Casey O'Loughlin for the Northwestern Wildcats homer for the first time of the season. We saw Purdue do the same with Skylar Hunter going deep.
As that ball in the dirt, nice job by Clays to just go ahead and trap it and stop it.
Clays has had a interesting day. We talked about it a little bit before.
Yeah, Clays looked more like a goalie there in hockey, just using the pads, the knee pads, to just be able to keep that ball from rolling behind him.
He did just that. The count moves to 2-1, however.
For Purdue, you've got D'Alessandro at the plate, Evan Warden at third, Owen Jansen at second, and then Harry Shipley over at first. Is now a 3-1 count. You absolutely cannot allow Purdue to walk in the game-leading run if you're Bourdignon.
In this 3-1 count, D'Alessandro can take a risk. Do you think he should do that, Connor, or should he just kind of see it out? He's a very good batter. We'll see. He's going to swing, drive it to center. It's going to be deep enough for Warden to tag, and Warden will trot across home plate. And the Purdue Boilermakers take the lead 8-7.
So a nice job by D'Alessandro. Was patient, takes a swing at it, and gets the ball into deep center field, able to bring Warden home. So now the Boilermakers on top, 8-7.
Before you could answer my question, Connor, that pitch was thrown, and Deli, as he's referred to in the Boilermaker dugout, was able to drive a ball deep enough to center.
Well, I would have said that Nick D'Alessandro is an aggressive player at the plate, and I would not have been shocked to see him take a cut at it.
He did just that, and he gets an RBI, but also gives Northwestern the second out in the bottom of the 8th.
Skylar Hunter now at the plate for the Boilermakers. Hit 3-run home run back in the bottom of the 5th inning.
He's going to swing at that Bourdignon pitch and fan to move the count even at 1.
Brett, it is interesting. I suppose it's just based on the fact that Bourdignon is a right-handed pitcher, but Hunter is a switch hitter, and he hit that home run batting from the left side of the plate. Opting to go to the right side, though, this time. We'll see if it pays off. As he is able just to get out of the way of that pitch to make it 2-1.
Jansen on second, Harry Shipley on first base. And Skylar Hunter facing a 2-1 count against Bourdignon. Bourdignon, the 2-1, and Hunter swings and misses to even the count out. Big pitch incoming as Northwestern tries to get back to the offensive side of things. Purdue just simply trying to keep this inning alive as they've already tacked on 3.
And Hunter chops that one foul. So he'll stay alive in the at-bat, 2-2. Everybody will return back to first and second. Shipley and Jansen out there for the Boilermakers. Purdue trying to add a couple more runs on to extend this lead, able to take the lead here in the bottom of the 8th. They've got 3 runs already scored.
The 2-2 from Bourdignon. And Hunter is going to take a cut at that one and drive it foul into the back netting.
And that ball hanging up in the netting. Don't see that often. As the netting is designed, it's slanted down, designed to roll the ball back into play, but it gets caught up there.
8 that one as Bourdignon delivers the 2-2. He gets Skylar Hunter to swing. However, Clay's dropped it, but he made the throw to first. But the damage is done. The Boilermakers tack on 3 and take an 8-7 lead. And now Northwestern will try to score at least 1 to keep this thing going as we head to the top of the 9th. The senior Ross Lerner comes to the hill for the Purdue Boilermakers. And Connor, he's trying to get another save added to his name.
Yeah, Ross Lerner, one of the best closers, not only in the Big Ten, but in the country. Currently has a .74 ERA. He's got 8 saves on the year. That's good for 5th in the conference. You know, Ross Lerner was a guy who wasn't sure that he wanted to continue to play collegiate baseball, went to a junior college with some of his friends in Illinois, then decided to come to Purdue. And it's been worked out really well for both him and for Purdue, as he's going to get the first out as O'Laughlin grounds one over to McGowan, and Jackson McGowan applies the tag. So 1 away, Northwestern. Only 2 outs remaining, trying to tie this up or take the lead.
We've seen a back-and-forth game in this one. Northwestern took a 2-0 lead in the top of the 3rd. The Boilermakers responded by tying it. Then a Skylar Hunter home run gave them a 5-2 lead. And then the Boilermakers gave up 5 runs of their own.
It's been a game of runs. We talked about it at the beginning. Both teams offensively really finding their groove down the stretch. As this one's hit hard by Dunn off the glove of Lerner. And Dunn will reach safely. And that looked like it actually went off of partially off the pitching hand of Ross Lerner.
And that one will cause you to step off the mound for a second as you see Lerner do just that.
Yeah, he appears to be okay. He looks like he's ready just to get back and get going. But a scary situation anytime that a ball gets hit that hard back right at the pitcher. So a man standing on first now for Northwestern as Alex Arrow will come to the plate.
And Jack Dunn extends his 12-game hit streak to 13 now. And he leads the team in stolen bases, so that's something to watch too as he's on first. McGowan playing close to the bag. Good pitch there by Lerner to take the lead in the count on Alex Arrow at 0-1.
You know, the thing that makes Ross Lerner so special is it's not overwhelming power and speed. He doesn't throw the ball hard. He's just got great placement. He's got great movement on the ball, and batters just cannot get a good piece of it consistently. You don't often see a swing like what Dunn just had, where you don't see hard contact made very often against Ross Lerner.
The 0-1 now from Lerner. And that's chopped foul by Alex Arrow as he falls in an 0-2 hole at the plate. Lerner seems okay after that line drive was sent his way by Jack Dunn.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always one of those deals. Maybe once the adrenaline wears off, it'll hurt a little bit after. But right now, he appears to be good to go. Trying to give Purdue a much-needed victory in Game 1 of this 3-game series.
He's going to keep Dunn on first base and make the throw to Jackson McGowan, covering bag number 1. Now he'll deliver the 0-2. He gets Alex Arrow to swing and miss. However,
I think they're going to say it was a foul tip. Just caught a piece of the ball. Arrow did. And so he's able to stay alive. It was certainly close. It's an 0-2 count still for Arrow. 1 away. Man standing on first. And Dunn does have some speed. Jack Dunn, 17 of 18 on stolen base attempts this season.
The 0-2 from Lerner. He's going to deliver an off-speeder that is a bit too tall. And will keep Arrow alive at 1-2 now. In the on-deck circle, Willie Bourbon stands. As long as double play doesn't occur. Lerner, the 1-2. And that is sent foul by Alex Arrow.
And Arrow just doing what you have to do. You got to stay alive. You can't go down looking. If you go down swinging, you go down swinging, but you absolutely cannot go down looking in this situation.
And you really want to work Ross Lerner.
Yeah, you want to try to make him throw as many pitches as possible. Every pitch that you get is a slightly better read on what Lerner is bringing off the mound.
The 1-2 delivered, and Arrow got a good piece of that, but he's going to send it foul off the Purdue locker room.
Yeah, he hit it high, and it goes off the roof and actually back into play. So we're going to have a short stoppage as Milo Beam, who has checked in into left for Ben Nissel, comes in to throw that ball back into play.
You see McGowan playing very close to the bag on Jack Dunn. This pitch is hit hard by Arrow to deep right field. Olin's under it. And more importantly, he's able to keep Jack Dunn standing at first base.
Yeah, great job by Lerner, forcing Arrow just to lift one into right, and look, Olin able to get that ball to second.
Northwestern down to their final out here.
Coach Wazakowski in the Boilermaker dugout fired up right now, as they know they're 1 out away from taking game 1 against Northwestern.
Comes down to Willie Bourbon's bat. If he can get on, he will extend this game. And Bourbon on the day is 0 for 3 with a walk. He takes a strike from Lerner.
And you can hear it, this Boilermaker crowd. Really, really excited. Everybody coming to their feet.
The 0-1 from Lerner. A swing and a miss by Willie Bourbon. And Bourbon falls in an 0-2 hole against Lerner. You see Della Sandro hitting his chest plate.
Yeah, Della Sandro, they know that this is a huge game.
Willie Bourbon and the Northwestern Wildcats down to their final strike and out. Lerner is going to throw to first. Dunn's going to run to second, an aggressive steal, and he is in for his 18th stolen base of the year.
Hey, nothing to lose if you're Northwestern. Try to get a guy into scoring position, because now you don't need something super well hit into the outfield. It just needs to be in the outfield and in play, and it will give Dunn a chance to try and bring in the tie, to score the tying run.
An extremely risky move there by the Northwestern offense, but it pays off as Jack Dunn is now aboard second. Lerner ready to deliver the 0-2. Bourbon at the plate. The delivery, and Bourbon swings and misses. Ross Lerner picks up the save, and the Boilermakers complete the comeback and take game 1 of this 3-game series 8-7.